Hello everybody and welcome back to the Monster Madness YouTube channel where we talk all things spooky. And today we have another haunt review coming to you. Today we go and visit Slaughterland Scream Park in Binghamton, New York. So let's get right into it. Okay, so my night started off, I pulled into their parking lot, which is at the end of a very lonely dirt road out in the boondocks of New York. So you go, you park. It is very small, though. That's the one thing I did notice is that their parking lot was very small. But they did have a shuttle bus. It looked like they have some sort of bus there. So I'm assuming that there is another lot somewhere for you to go and park. And they would have transportation back and forth. That's what it appears to be. But I went on their only Sunday that they were open, so they were not using it, I'm assuming, because it wasn't that crowded, so there was no need for it. Anyways, okay, so I got there, and first thing I seen, there wasn't too many decorations, just a couple dimly lit lanterns and a camper. The camper was the ticket booth. You go up to the camper and buy your tickets. The tickets were $40. I had already spoke with Nikki earlier via Facebook Messenger. She is one of the owners of Slaughterland. I actually did an interview with her. That will be next week's video. So stay tuned for that. But she told me when I got there just to radio for her. So keep in mind, I bought general admission ticket for $40. And I told, it was her parents that were in there. I told them that Nikki said to let her know that I'm here, and she came up. Nikki was really nice, and she took me right to the front of the line, even though I bought general admission, which I really did appreciate. Very, very nice thing to do, so I didn't have to wait at all. It was very, very nice. But then, okay, so once we got through there, the line is just basic. I mean, there's like a cabin thing at the front of it and lighting everywhere, but it's very, very eerie and silent, and you could just hear like these tribal moans type thing for the first attraction that you're about to experience, which was dark magic. But yeah, wasn't too long of a wait. They were separating groups, and there was plenty enough space to be separated from the group in front of you, so you didn't run into them at all, which is really nice. They have it on a time system. It looks like they were using their cell phones to time when the people go in, which is really nice. I went in. It was a very dark path. There was a few decorations on either side, but I got scared almost instantly. There was people hiding in the woods. It was I was not expecting them to be there, but there wasn't too many things. And then the big reveal of this big tribal hut-looking thing. It looks like something you see it out of a movie. It did, with the fog and the lights. It was really amazing. And you go up to the door, and you go through the door into this, almost like I want to say, if I remember right, like a library. But there was a witch sitting in there, like a tribal witch doctor person in there. Okay. So she basically asked me what I was doing here and blah, 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 blah. And then you go through a curtain, and it is basically a pitch black maze, kind of similar to what Pitch Black at Reaper's Revenge, what they do. So if you're claustrophobic, maybe it's not for you, but there was very, very tight spaces in there. You feel the walls to find your way through, but the thing I did like about this, versus Reaper's Revenge Pitch Black, Reaper's Revenge is pitch black. You go through, and there's only a few scenes that are lit up, but it's majority like dark the whole time you go through in there. Slaughterland, what they did is they actually have probably like, I want to say like 7 to 10 different scenes in there that you walk through that are nice and lit up, that have to do with the whole dark magic theme, which I really liked. And I want to say about 50% of them actually got me, and there was some air cannons in there that were really loud that got me as well. But I want to say, I didn't really time this, I should have, but the whole time I was in there, it felt maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, which was okay. I really liked it, though. That was probably one of my favorite attractions of the night. Something that they improved upon. I visited there in 2021, but I was not reviewing haunts at that time. I did not even have my YouTube channel at that time. But a big difference from when I last went is that they added sound all throughout Dark Magic, which I really, really liked. If there's one thing that I could stress enough about haunted houses that I really, really like, you could have the most expensive props. You could have the best set designers on this earth. You can have the most gorgeous sets out of any haunted house ever, but it's really not going to be anything without light and sound. Those are the two biggest things for me in a haunted house, is lighting and sound, because lighting and sound can change the entire mood of everything, okay? See, if you for example, if you have a Halloween decoration set up, broad daylight, okay? Just with bright lights and just they're there, okay? That's not scary. You add some colorful lighting at nighttime, it changes everything. Here's my setup for Halloween this year in my front yard. Here's what it looks like in the daylight, okay? So as you can see, it's not too scary. You could kind of tell everything is fake, okay? And then here is at nighttime with the lighting that I have, and as you can see, lighting absolutely does change everything and makes everything so much spookier. And I don't have any sound out there because it's my display, but here is some sound over my Halloween decorations that can kind of help you give the idea of how sound and lighting can help together to make something come to life and make it tell a story and honestly make it better than just as is. Okay, so again, now you can see why I was so happy that they added so much sound through Dark Magic, and they added more elaborate sets than I remember throughout, and they blended them from the dark into the lighting that they were using, so you couldn't even tell that there was a transition, because it was carpet on the walls that you were feeling the whole way through, but it was seamless into the different scenes that they had. You couldn't even tell that they removed the carpet because how good the lighting and stuff was in there. Like I said, and there was some really good actors in there that really got me. I really liked the Butcher. There was another a tribal witch lady later down the road that really scared me. I forget which room she was in, but she was in one of the rooms further on in the maze, and she was on the floor in some weird pose. I don't know, it was very creepy. And then I started going down back into the darkness, and she was chasing me down the hallway, and that is the absolute worst feeling. It's like when you're going to bed at night and you're in your basement, but you have to turn your basement light off, but the light's at the bottom of the steps, so you turn it off and run up the stairs because you feel something's chasing you. That is what that felt like, and that was absolutely scary. So yeah, Dark Magic was definitely one of my favorites of the night, but we're only getting started. They have 4 other attractions, which brings me to my next attraction that I got to after that. It was the Wendigo Woods, and they had a employee at every single attraction entrance to kind of separate people even more, so it doesn't get all conga line, which is what I really despise when haunts just conga line people together, because it really ruins it. And again, shout out to Nikki, because she actually asked me if I wanted to go through by myself, because usually they would send you in large groups, smaller groups. They would split you up if they needed to, about maybe 8 people to a group. She let me go through by myself so I can experience everything just as is, and it was really nice. And again, I like it by myself versus with a bunch of people and just conga lighting, because it just ruins it, and people get ahead of you, and then you see the scares, and then when they go to scare you, you don't get scared because you know it's already there. So they really have their timing down to a key, and I really like that. But anyways, Wendigo Woods, we started off going into a cemetery, and something that really scared me in the cemetery was right in the beginning. There was this really tall guy with a real snake. Yes, you heard me, a real snake. I believe it was a python, but that was absolutely terrifying. I had to sneak by him and run away because I don't do snakes. So I kind of did that. There was a bunch of zombies, but I didn't even pay attention to the zombies because I was just focused on getting away from that snake. So yeah, so there was a graveyard, which, like I said, I practically ran through. And then after the graveyard, you end up in the Wendigo woods. So like the actual woods part of it. And there was these bone-like creatures, and they were screaming at me. They were coming out of everywhere. There was even one hiding on a fence that looked fake. It looked like there was a skull on a fence, but then his like eyes shut off because they were light up red, right? His eyes shut off, and then he got up and like started chasing me as well. That was really freaky. So yeah, and then also another thing with the Wendigo Woods that I really liked is they had this really tall creature made out of, it looked like sticks. Okay, and then you kind of worked your way through, and then you ended up in the hillbilly area, which is in Wendigo Woods, which, from what I remember last year, is a lot different. You wind through the hillbilly area. There is extremely loud old music playing. It was very, very creepy. I did not want to go in there, but I knew I had to proceed, so I was kind of taking my time. And then there was the hillbillies. Obviously, they came out and scared you, did their thing. And then there was one with a chainsaw, that got me, that came out somewhere in there. I'm not saying where. And then there was, I believe her name is Tammy from what I see in the advertisements. But she had a shotgun, and I believe it was a real shotgun. Obviously, it wasn't loaded, but yeah, it's actually quite terrifying seeing a real shotgun and her coming around the corner. She's like, "Where are you headed?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm probably headed that way." I did not want anything to do with the shotgun. So I kind of just went. Well, she did her thing, and then there's Cletus, and Cletus had a pig skewered on a stick, and she said that was his daddy. So I thought that was kind of funny. I really liked the whole hillbilly area. Then after that, I believe we went into Frightmares 3D, if I remember correctly. So we got in line. Well, there was a line, and I got to Frightmares 3D. I got my 3D classes, and we headed on through. I want to say that this was probably one of the weaker attractions of the night. I really didn't like how bright it was in there. I get the whole 3D thing with the glasses and everything, but if they would just dim down the black lights just a little bit, so it's a little bit darker when you're going through, I feel like it would be that much more creepy, and maybe add some more like textures in there, maybe some more creepy cloth or just some different fabrics and stuff you have to walk through, just to kind of make it interesting and to slow people down a little bit. But there was quite a few good scares in there with the 3D glasses that you couldn't tell were coming, which I really liked. And then there was 2 clowns that jumped out and scared me at the end. But another thing that they can focus on in there is their sound, okay? They had sound towards the end of it that was really loud. But really, they need to put sound throughout the entire haunt. They should get like smaller speakers and install them in the corners of the walls, and maybe like a powered and a passive speaker so you can connect them all and just have one powered and one running the audio, and then just kind of put them throughout. I think it would be a lot better that way, so the whole haunt has sound rather than just a part of it that's really loud and blasting. That's about the only thing I'll change about that, is the lights make it a little bit darker, and the sound, like I said, lights and sound are practically everything for me in a haunted house. So yeah, that's about all I had to say about Frightmares. And then we moved on to Cirque de Mort, and this is another one of my favorites. I like this one. You start off walking through the woods towards the big circus archway, and you walk past all these sideshow posters and stuff. Nothing too crazy, and then you wind down past all these hanging dolls in a tree, which were really, really creepy. And you kind of turn the corner, and then these twins popped out of this, I think it was like a shack-looking thing. I don't know, but they popped out, and they told me I was going the wrong way, okay? And I'm pretty sure I was going the right way, but they said I had to turn around and go that way. So I did, and I walked back up where I was told that I was, again, going the wrong way, and I had to go back the other way. So I did, and then the twins stopped me again and told me I was going the wrong way. It kind of got annoying, not gonna lie, but I kind of just pushed my way. Well, I didn't really I kind of like snuck around them. But then there was a little Easter egg for Nikki told me what was to be for 2025 in the carnival. Well, in the Cirque de Mort. Yes, that's right. Okay, there was a little Easter egg in there for what may be coming in 2025. If you want to hear more about that, again, my interview with Nikki is coming out next Saturday. Make sure to check that out. But yeah, then we moved on past Cirque de Mort, and it was the final attraction of the night, the brand new Bloodshed for 2023. And this was probably one of their top most detailed attractions that they've ever created so far. I mean, you're walking into a real shed with real tools, real equipment, and everything. And everything was just chef's kiss. It was so good in there. The only thing I can criticize about what was in there, again, since it's so new, I really don't want to ruin it for everybody. If you want to go see the Bloodshed for yourself, make sure to go check out Slaughterland. But it was kind of cut short, but then Nikki explained due to all the heavy rain that we've been having that they've been delayed in building, which makes sense because the ground was a little bit squishy when I was walking past there. But the Bloodshed was really good. Again, I'm not going to give too much away since it is brand new. I want you guys to go there for yourself. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But yeah, I really liked the Bloodshed. Sound was good. Lighting was great. So yeah, and then I exited out in the Midway. And in the Midway, they had it was towards the end of the night, so everything was kind of closed. But they do have they have a bar that's open there that they partnered with a local brewery to serve beer, and they also have some food trucks and a merch tent you can go check out, as well as a fire and a stage where performers might come and perform. It was a very big, wide open area. There's plenty of room for a lot of people. And then there's easy access back to the parking lot and again to the ticket booth and to the line. So, yes, that was practically my whole experience at Slaughterland, basically what I experienced. Okay, and now I'm just going to go ahead and rank the attractions from 1 through 5, which I enjoyed the most to what I enjoyed the least. And starting with what I enjoyed the least would have to be Frightmares 3D. Again, if it was just a little bit darker, more stuff to walk through, and maybe just maybe the sound was a little bit better, that would have been higher on my list. But for that reason, it's going to have to be number 5. Number 4 would have to be Cirque de Mort. Again, nothing against Cirque de Mort. I really liked it. But there was better ones out there, but it wasn't the worst one. I did like it. Number 3 for me was definitely the Wendigo Woods. Again, they really stepped up their game this year. They were loud. I really liked the cemetery, and that snake was just so creepy, and I'd never seen anybody use real animals in a haunted house before. So that was definitely very interesting. Number 2 was definitely the Bloodshed. Definitely go check out the Bloodshed this year. It is absolutely amazing. Like I said, one of the more realistic looking houses that they have, their attractions to go through. Very, very real. Like I said, they use real tools, real equipment, and you're in a real barn. The atmosphere is just great in there. Again, you're going to have to go check it out for yourself. And then number 1, obviously, was Dark Magic. Like I said, I really like Dark Magic. I like all the scenes. The lighting was great. The sound was great. Just everything about that attraction was chef's kiss. It was just so good. And I really liked, I mean, that was my favorite when I went in 21 as well. But again, that was my favorite this year. And everything in there is just so perfect, along with the gorgeous facade and the door that you enter into the shack to where you meet, like, the first witch and stuff. Is absolutely, like, it's just amazing. And, yeah, that was my favorite attraction of the night. Yeah. I'd say overall, I'd have to give this attraction, if I had to give it a rating out of 10 overall, I probably would have to give it about an 8.5 out of 10. They did really well. The actors were great. The makeup was really done very well. Costuming was great. The atmosphere was great in general. There could have been a little bit louder music playing, but then again, it was towards the end of the night, so they maybe didn't have it cranked up, but there was some radio playing over by the stage. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10 sounds about right for Slaughterland. And on my list of haunts this year, I would have to rank so far of the places that I've been to, probably the only places that I'm going to go to this year. There was 5 of them, so this is the last of 5 that I plan on doing for this year. So if I had to rank them all, I'd probably have to put number 5 would definitely have to be Circle Drive-In, because I went there, and there's a reason there's not a review on my YouTube channel for this place. It's because I went there, purchased my ticket, and got up to go on the hayride, and the tractor driver says he doesn't even know why I came today because it's not even fully done yet, and they still have a whole nother tent and stuff to put up. So I asked them for a refund, and they gave me one. But you shouldn't be running your attraction if everything's not built and set up and ready to go. That's not how you run an attraction, so I just put that at number 5 just for that reason. Number 4, I would have to say was... Number 4 would have to be Massacre Mansion in Simpson, Pennsylvania. Again, a nice, really old-school haunted house. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but it could be better. There is room for improvement there. Number 3 would have to be Gravestone Manor in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. They, again, did an outstanding job. It was my first time attending this year. The price was only $12. That review is coming soon. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But number 3 would have to be Gravestone Manor. Number 2, and this is surprising this year because I didn't think I was ever going to say this, because Reaper's Revenge, I love you, but you are actually number 2 on this list. I don't know what it was about this year, but I really just did not have a great time at your attractions this year. I think you really do overuse the clowns. If you want to check out my review to Reaper's Revenge, link will be popping up anytime here soon. But I think it's just the overuse of clowns because they have 2 separate clown attractions that I don't really like. It's just overused. And the only thing I really liked about that attraction was Sector 13 and Pitch Black. Everything else was kind of meh. So, I can't believe I'm actually saying this because Reaper's Revenge used to be my favorite. But I think they're number 2 this year. And Slaughterland, which is the one I just reviewed currently, is, I have to say, number 1. Because I really enjoyed my time there. It was a lot of fun. The actors were great. Everyone interacted with you. Like, if you talk to the actors while you're going through, they will sit there and interact with you. And everyone's so nice. The staff is nice and friendly. Their sets are amazing. Like I said, something that you see at a movie, some of these things. Like, the bloodshed is like a real shed that you have to go through and stuff. And then, like, the facade to Dark Magic, it actually looks like an old witch's hut. And I like the carnival archway entrance and stuff. And the Frightmares 3D entrance is big, bright, and colorful. And once you put on the 3D glasses, it's like a vortex that, like, sucks you in. Everything is just chef's kiss. And I really enjoyed Slaughterland this year. And I definitely will be returning next year. Yeah, that is all I have to say for this video. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button down below, hit those post notifications so you never miss a new video from me, and until next Saturday, stay spooky.